Hello and welcome. This video is going to be my video of knife sharpening. Okay, it's the system that I use. I did get a request. I've forgotten your name. Put it in the comment if you requested it. This guy, he requested me to do a knife sharpening video, and this is what it's going to be. All right, this is part one out of quite a few parts, I hope, and this, in part one, I'm just going to show you how I sharpen my knives and what system I use, and just talk about edges and things like that. Alright, so if you haven't seen one before, this is a Spyderco triangle Sharpmaker. It's actually, a bit of history, it's actually the first product that they made. So first they made things sharp. Oops, sorry about that. Then they made sharp things. Okay, that's kind of like their business model and things. So they actually made a sharpening system before they made all their knives and things. All right, and it's a system I recommend. It's a system I use. In the UK, we don't have like the Edge Pro, things like that. So I'm sorry, Americans. I'm not gonna start going into that of how to get the perfect edges on things, and I don't really think it's that necessary on 40, 50 pound, 100 pound knives even, but for some people it is, and that's fine. I mean, probably I would get one of those systems if I had like a Rockstead 3,000 or 4,000 pound knife, maybe, but even then I'd be pushed to whether I'd use it or not. Anyway, so this is a system I use. You can pick one of these up for about 40, 50 pounds, so it's a bit of an investment, but you've then got the option of sharpening your knives and keeping them sharp, and getting them sharper than from the factory. This is a Spyderco Tenacious. This is what I'm going to be using in the demo. It's a kind of a common knife in the knife world. Nearly everybody's got one, and it's a decent knife to do this video. All right, so that's kind of like the setup. I'm going to show you what I do on the Sharpmaker. If you do know how to sharpen knives and you are a bit of a pro expert or anything like that, you can stop watching, or you can carry on watching, and you might pick up a couple of things that you didn't really know, or if you're just here for entertainment value, then go ahead. But it's really for the people that haven't got one of these, or have got one but are having problems with it and things like that. Anyway, this is just gonna phase out or something, and I'm gonna have it set up and ready to roll. All right. Okay, I'm back. Now, this is the Sharpmaker. You get these two ceramic rods with it. For the demo purposes, I'm not going to use them, but this is what you get. You get these two ceramic rods, which are medium grit. Okay, so they should really get your knife from a dull edge to cutting paper. All right, and then this is the system itself. It has these grooves in the bottom so that you can put two rods on them, and sharpen a chisel or something like that. Maybe a carpenter has a more special tool for that. You can also put the rods in this way and use scissors against the rods and sharpen them that way. I might do that in another video, how to sharpen scissors. It's quite useful. And now here we have the system being opened itself. So we have a couple of rods, 4 rods. We've got the brass guards. Yeah, I know some people use them, some people don't. I do. Sue me. Well, don't sue me, but I use it the way it's intended to be used, put it that way. Okay, and I've cut myself many times before to know that more safety is not a bad thing. Okay, so this is the system. For the purposes of the video, like I say, I'm not going to use these ceramic rods because they take off a fair bit of steel, and I don't want to take... The whole point of sharpening is to get a really nice sharp edge, obviously, by taking as little steel off of the edge as possible. Alright, so there we go. So I'm not going to be using the ceramic rods, but nonetheless the process is the same, more or less. So I'll be using these fine rods, which I've marked blue, and then the ultrafine rods. Okay, you don't get the ultrafine rods in the set for £50, but you can buy them separately, and they do set you back about £16 each. Yeah, each. It's not as bad as the diamond rods, and I think the diamond rods are about 30 or £40 for the set. So they're more expensive, but you'd only use the diamond rods if you really need to had a horrible knife, or you needed to reprofile an edge from the beginning. Okay, so we'll set this thing up. Alright, I'm going to use the fine rods. So you've got two markers here. You've got the 40-degree edge and you've got the 30-degree back bevel. Now, a back bevel is important. With the back bevel, what you would do is you would set it up like so, put the rods in, and you would set your ceramic rods like that, and you would do the strokes that I'm going to show you on the 40-degree, and that's just to taper the edge a bit further in, okay, and then you'd move on to the 40-degree, and normally you do that if you needed to reprofile an edge. It's absolute. Well, I don't think there's any point in doing the back bevel and then going to cut paper and things like that. I think it won't sort the edge out specifically. It will just sort out, you know, part of the edge to get to the stage where you've got a sharper edge. For older knives that you need reprofiling that aren't at the 40-degree angle, it's probably worth doing this this stage first. But if you've got a knife, if you've just bought a knife, or you've had a knife for a month or so and it's getting a bit blunt, which they do, knives wear out. This knife, oh, you can't see it, that's on that side, isn't it? Yeah. It's the 8CR 13 MOV. I do apologise that that's upside down. And that blade steel won't last a hell of a long time. Alright, it probably last a couple of weeks, probably a month if that, if you're using it. Depends on you know, mileage may vary, all that good stuff. But anyway, so if you find that your knife's getting blunt, it's not cutting as well as it would do, such as the softer steels, then you just do the process that I'm about to show you. Okay, so I'm going to swap it around and set it up the other way. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of a cut test first of all. I do keep my knives sharp, so this might be slightly pointless. Yeah. Okay, that's extremely sharp. I don't even need to... I'm not even really trying. But anyway, the point is, if you've got a very sharp knife, it doesn't really hurt it to sharpen it again. Alright? What probably would hurt it is if you got your ceramic rod and you went, you know, all along it, along the edge of it. That's going to cause it some damage. Alright? And if you're going to be sharpening with the ceramic rods, these medium grip ones, then you're kind of taking away that really nice edge that you've worked so hard to get. But for the purposes of this video, I don't mind doing that on these rods, and they're not really going to take much metal off anyway. You can probably tell that they're a little bit dirty. Can you see that? See the line? That's actually the steel. The steel from the edge is taken off, and a lot of it stays on the rods. I will be doing another video, a shorter video of course, of how to clean these rods, best way to go about it to get them nice and you know, bright and white and clean again. I've tried everything from sodium bicarbonate to, you know, bathroom cleaner to toothpaste, and yeah, toothpaste really does work. So I'll be doing a little video about that. Anyway, the Spyderco are very good. When you buy one of these, it comes with this this little booklet of how to set it up, how to sharpen different things. Booklet is brilliant. If you're not good at reading, or or if this isn't your preferred method of learning, going through all these diagrams and, oh, you must do this, you must do that, Spyderco, it does come with a DVD. It looks like it's shot in the 80s, but you know, so it's not a bad thing, but I would think that it needs to be redone. But you can go on YouTube, and I'm sure somebody's uploaded the video, and it's just useful bit of information and an instructional video. As you can see at the start, it gives you the information about the rods. You've got the Sharpmaker itself. You've got the 2 white stones. They're fine grit, which I'm going to be using. You've got the safety rods. These solid brass safety rods. And 2 grey stones, which I won't be using, but if you've got quite a blunt knife, this is what you'd be using first until your knife can cut paper at an okay level. And these are the 2 extra rods here. You've got the ultrafine, which again I'll be using, and the 204D, stands for diamond, with diamond particles. There for the aggressive resharpening, rebeveling and reprofiling, okay? But I think they're the most expensive rods that you can get, the diamond ones. And not everybody will use them. If you've got 1 or 2 knives, I don't mean to, you know, give a load of hot air, but if you've got 1 or 2 knives, this system with the fine rods will suit you fine. If you want to take your sharpening to the next level, then get the ultrafine and get a strop. But if you've just got 1 or 2 knives, then this will set you up fine. Okay, now technique. The book and the video, they say, I think it's about 40 degree, and you just keep doing that for 20 times. Yeah, 40 strokes total. All right, and that's what I stick to. There have been times when I've done 50. That's because I've wanted a little bit of a workout. Well, not much of a workout, but anyway, the point is, it doesn't matter if you do 40 or 50. The whole point of this is to get that edge looking really excellent, with as minimum strokes and taking as less steel as you can off of it. All right, we know that this cuts paper. But this is my technique. Alright, now this is really difficult because I've got this camera in front of me. Don't mean to moan and whine about it, but I have with this boom arm, or whatever you want to call it. So your technique will be a lot smoother because you'll have nothing in front of you. But I thought this POV is more beneficial. Anyway, what I do is I start right at the butt end, right where the handle meets, and I just 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to count them all. And if you notice, I'm hardly putting any pressure. I'm not really, you know, pushing the blade down. I'm just gently, like you're slicing a cake. Now, you would put pressure, wouldn't you, if you're slicing cake? But I'm just literally, doesn't matter if it hits, that doesn't matter, okay? The important thing is you go right from the butt end, and you'll get into a rhythm, okay? You get into a rhythm of the important thing here is, for every stroke you do on the left side, you do one on the right side. That seems to be fine. So you do 40, might not have been 40, but it's sharp anyway. So you do the 20 on each side. You could do less. it's up to you. And then you turn the rods round and you perform the sharpening on these on the flat side. Again, you do the same amount. So I'm only going to do a few, and this I find is actually more difficult, getting the knife kind of straight. The important thing is you keep the knife completely vertical as well as you can, and you just slice down from hilt to tip. You can do that, and you can add a little bit of a wrist flick as well. You're not going to be a master at this the first time you do it, even the 100th time you do it. It's all about the practice, okay? And that's why, as a knife collector, I'd always say go for the knives that are 20, 30, 40 pounds, because anybody can just go out and buy a £300 S30V knife or something like that, but you're going to have to sharpen it one day. Maybe not ZDP 189, but you're going to have to sharpen your knives one day. And if you buy quite a few cheap knives, then that will be worth it in the long run, because you'll get some more experience of sharpening and getting to know your edge. So that was my 20 on each of the side, give or take a few hundred, I suppose, and that's them done. Okay, now at this point, after using the brown ceramic rods, which would be instead of those, I would then just do a little bit of a cut test just to see that it's putting paper, and you can normally feel if there's some kind of chip or something in the edge itself. You can normally feel that when you slice. You can go as slow as you can, and if it jags or stops, you may have to get your little jeweler's eye and have a look if you're that bothered about it. But if you can visibly see a small chip, go back to the brown rods, get that chip out so that it cuts paper fine. As I said, for the demonstration purposes, I'm using the fine and ultra fine. Okay, then I'd move on to the ultra fine. Some might say, yeah, super. Is there any point in using the super fine on 8CR13 MOV? Yeah, for the first, I don't know, 5 to 10 cuts, it's going to go through really easily, and then it will go back to its default sharpness on the edge. So you might just be happy with the fine rods, and that's fine. This just takes it to a whole new level, and I do this level on all of my knives, but I think you'd get the most benefit performing this stage on, you know, your S30V or even your VG10. Yeah, VG10's a little bit softer, and you're probably just going to be bending that edge back and forward, but I'd say VG10 upwards, use the ultrafine. But you know, I'm using it right now with 8CR, and I'm using it with the CTS BD1 on the UK PK. So it's really personal preference. If that gives you that peace of mind, oh, I've used the ultrafine sharp rods, and you know that's probably the sharpest I can get my knife, go for it. You know, but statistically, you are going to see more benefit using the ultrafine on the harder steels like the S30V and the LMAX even, and the CDP, just because they're harder steels, and the edge, if you're going for a really sharp edge, that's going to hold that longer at a sharper point that these rods give you. Okay, as you can see, I'm missing and not getting the rods all the time, but it's difficult. We're not machines, but it will do the job. It's very, very simple system to use, kind of idiot proof. You just got to not put too much pressure on it, just like you're slicing a cake. And there we go. Okay, so I hope that's been helpful to you. That's my system. That's how I use the Sharpmaker. We'll do a little bit of a cut test, not with the Sharpmaker user guide, of course. This little 511. Look at that. You could argue that it was sharp to start with, but let's face it, if I had been sharpening it wrong, it wouldn't have cut as well. I would have done some damage. Okay, so sharpening an already sharp knife, yeah, it's a bit of a waste of time, but hey, it's this is an instructional video of how it works. Okay, now I'm gonna just take that. So that was the kind of video I wanted to put out there. My system, how I sharpen knives and things. Straight after this though, if you stay with me, I'm just gonna do a few runs on the strop and show you how I take that to the next level as well. Okay. Okay, here we go. So this is the strop that I use. I believe it's just a right edge strop. I think it only cost me about £10 or £15. It's got this side here, which you could put your paste on and things. I'm not quite at that level yet, but you normally put your paste on and give it a few runs on there. But I use this, the inside of the strop. Okay, it's fine hair. It will last a long time. It's got the two parts to it, and it's got this this handle to hold it, and it's got this clip that you can clip on your, well, you can clip anywhere. For this video, I'm going to clip it to the camera stand because it's up against the table. It's not going to shake you very much, and if I pull it, there's a bit of resistance. So after using the Sharpmaker, what I do, and it's really just for peace of mind. I mean, we're talking about HCR13 MOV here. We're not talking about a Rockstead or a Japanese you know, composite knife or blade or anything like that. We're just talking about this soft steel. But for peace of mind, what I normally do, there may well be some benefits microscopically. That's just my thoughts on stropping. You may well get more benefits with the harder steels like the S30 and the VG10 and things, but just for the softer steels, and I am actually doing it the wrong way around. Okay, so you shouldn't really be doing it this way, but for the purpose of the video, I am. All right, because this is just the way it's working out. But what I'd do is you get your strop as straight as possible, and what I do is I make an X. So I start with the butt and I just do that and then do that. So just making this X, and you only need to do that about 10 or 20 times. I only do it about 10 times. And what that does is that just realigns all of that damage and microscopic tears that you've built up through taking the steel off. Okay, it just realigns the steel on a microscopic level. And with a softer steel, of course, that's probably going to get ruined the first few strokes that you cut into something. But nonetheless, for peace of mind, and it kind of cleans the knife as well a little bit. I like to do this. Okay, so, and then with the softer steels, you're not going to really see a huge improvement, but just for argument's sake, that's very, very, is it sharp as it's as sharp as I started, if not sharper. Okay, so that's an extra part of the process that you may or may not want to do. it's up to you. I personally would do it, and I do it with all my knives, but hey, that's me. I've got a lot of knives, there's just something about sharpening a knife and not stropping it now, once you get into that rhythm and things. But anyway, that's the strop I use, and that's been my knife sharpening video. Stay tuned, look at the other parts, because in other parts of these videos I will be showing you how to sharpen different horrible buggers of a knife, like this one that has combination edges. We've got a different angle there, different one there, we've got the serrations, so stay tuned for that video. I hope you find those useful, but as it stands, for this part 1 for knife sharpening, that's us finished. Thank you very much for watching. Please put any comments down below. Don't just put something like, oh, I use an Edge Pro and I get a 0.56mm. Good for you. But that's just my system. It works for me. It gets my knives really sharp, and I just thought I'd put that out there for anybody thinking about you know, sharpening their knives, getting a system, things like that. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate and subscribe. Take care.